Hello. We talked to you at the beginning of the year on our coaches show, preview show, and your team. How do you look at that team from then until now?
A lot of growth, a lot of improvement. It was at the beginning of the year, November and December, with so many guys that we had returning from a sectional final appearance the year before and coming up a couple possessions short against a really good Nina team in the sectional final. A lot of guys returning on that team were very, very hungry to get back to that same, excuse me, to that same position. And I think in November and December, we wanted to skip those steps and we wanted to turn the calendar right to March. And I didn't do a good enough job of getting our guys ready to go and getting them to understand that we've got a long way to go and it's going to be a hard, difficult process to get ourselves back to that. A lot of the setbacks we had early were self-induced. A lot of tension that we played with early on in the season. And then I think around the time we went down to Florida in the holiday tournament, shortly thereafter, we really were focused on one day at a time and one practice at a time, one game at a time, and we started to see some improvement both in our on the court play and our maturity, and that's really propelled us to the run that we've got going on right now.
Yeah, Coach Dennis Semero, ESPN Madison. You had Wanakee early in the season, and now that's who you get at state. Uh, Anything that you can take from that particular game, even though it's about mid-season?
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing we take away from that game is that Wanakee is really good. Um, a lot of talented players and a lot of similarities between them and us. It was a really good game. That was at the lacrosse center. I think both us and them may have been coming off of a game the night before, so it was a quick turnaround at a wonderful facility and a wonderful event. We scheduled Wanakee for a reason, or we got to that event for a reason because we want to play quality opponents, and Wanakee's certainly that. They're on a run right now. They've played a really tough sectional, and it looks like they're playing well offensively and defensively on both ends of the floor. So we know we've got our hands full, and it's going to be a difficult opponent for us in many ways.
Hey, Chris, Mike Warren.
Hi, Mike.
Um, when Brooks Hinson's brothers were coming up through the program, we kept hearing, wait till you see their kid brother. Wait till you see their little brother. Wait till you see their little brother. Here's Brooks Hinson now beyond 1,600 points and all-time leading scorer and that type of thing. Just talk about what a special kid this is to have in your program and be able to coach a guy like this.
Yeah. I don't want to get too emotional here because Brooks Henson has meant a lot to me and he's meant a lot to our program. I can remember the first time I watched him play as a fifth grader in our youth program and just seeing how he competed at that young of an age and how how skilled he was from that young of an age and how he's just improved um, every year and every day. And he's the epitome of what you want in a student athlete. He doesn't get to where he's at in terms of his skill level just by doing the activities that we ask him to do, just by doing our practices in our open gyms. The kid's a tireless worker, a tremendous player, offensively skilled, a phenomenal defensive player. Plays both ends of the floor. He never gets tired. He's the most accomplished player in the history of our program. 4 conference championships, a 4-year starter, multiple school records, all-time leading scorer, all-time leading rebounder. I don't think it's not a stretch for me to say that he's the most talented player in the history of our program. He's the best to ever do it. He's the best to ever put on a Marshfield Tiger jersey, without a doubt.
Coach, you see he's shooting over 40% from three-point range. You
Yeah.
shoot that as I think it's 37% as a team. Can you tell
Mhm.
them a little bit about your offense and how big the three ball is for you?
Yeah, well, one of the emphasis that we put on in our program, and that's from youth level all the way on up, is the value of all five guys in our five out motion offense being able to knock down the 3-point shot. Because anytime you put a player that's on the floor that doesn't have that ability or isn't really an offensive threat when they have the ball on the perimeter, you really you really limit your spacing opportunities offensively when you want to run motion. So our goal from young on, and we're talking the kindergartners, the first graders, the second graders, is to teach the proper technique of shooting the basketball. So we definitely stress that from young on, and we hope when they get to us as freshmen that the technique and the form is there, and then we just value the appropriate reps, the footwork, um, the technique. Having shooting drills where you don't have to worry about getting your own rebound, having a rebounder and a passer along with you. That's something that we take very seriously in our program because we see the value in having five guys around the perimeter that can all knock down the three.